Hey, beautiful people. I'm Mila.
Hey y'all, I'm Monika.
And thanks for joining us.
How are you doing?
Hey.
Well, we are glad that you are here with us. It is a rainy day as we record this from the Pacific Northwest from Seattle. And we've had some beautiful weather, and from the resident allergy sufferer, I
It's
know
a
that days like this
Charlie
are needed.
Brown. It's a Charlie Brown day. This is womp womp.
It is needed to clear the air of all that pollen that has been breezing here. Like, sometimes it looks like
Mhm.
it's been snowing. That is how crazy our spring has
I just
been
like it
in
because I ain't
Seattle.
gotta wash my car when it's raining like this.
So we are just, this is going to be a good week. It has been a good week. We have been away from you for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, but we had lots to report, lots of things going
A
on.
few weeks. Life is life in.
Yep, community news. I mean, there have been some scandals, not just in pop culture, and we don't typically talk about politics.
Solar storms,
Yes, but there's been everything. We've seen Northern Lights.
northern
It's just
lights.
it's been a busy couple of weeks. So anyway, let's get into this then. You know how we started around here, everybody. I hope you have your libation or do whatever you're doing. This episode, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be good. So maybe put your earphones in if you're in a place where you don't want them to hear all the crazy things we're gonna talk about. Because family, we are having a real conversation
Well,
this episode.
depending where you are, you might need a blanket and some tea and hot cocoa. Or if you're on the other side of it, you might need some sunglasses and a hat.
Yeah. Okay. So so Mo, how's your week been? How you doing?
I'm exhausted, y'all. I just got back from a trip, so I'm exhausted.
Okay. Well,
I
you
mean, I had a good
heard that.
time. I had a good time. Had a good time, but I am exhausted. It's nice to go celebrate your loved ones.
Yep, that is always a good time when you celebrate family and people you love and care about. It's just the season, right? It is graduation and prom and everything kind of season.
Mhm.
So you were just saying, well, you are tired. You've been out and about in these streets.
In the sunshine. Sunshine. You know, the sun just hits differently down south. Southern hospitality, just that's my getaway rejuvenation spot.
Okay, well, is that why your skin's glowing and you seem happy?
Mhm.
Okay, well, I like it. Well, you know what, Mo, I appreciate you sharing that you were on the road. For me, I got stopped 3 times. And so I feel like God is trying to tell you something when, in fact, your flight is delayed, mishandled, weird, you're stuck in cities, and you're happy to get yourself back home. That's when you need to learn to sit yourself down and maybe that this trip isn't for you. So
Right.
we had two opposite ends of the travel perspective,
Mhm.
but nonetheless, we were on the road because you are the coldest piece. I will tell you this: when you're traveling, sometimes I just like to pray about it and just go on. I don't need kind of anything to expect because sometimes it'll show up as like anxiousness or
Mhm.
anxiety.
Mhm.
Because once everyone I know starts saying, "Oh, you're flying into Denver," oh, that turbulence,
I
girl, do you
mean,
understand
I
that
know. I mean, but it's a
turbulence?
known fact. But that's just like how the pilot said last night. He was like, "I'm just giving you all a heads up. It might about an hour or two into the flight, we might experience some severe turbulence." And I was like, that word might be bleeped out, but that's what I wanted to say. I was like, really? So I just went ahead and took some of my medicine so I could relax.
Okay, so you wouldn't be tripping about it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
like I said,
I'm like,
how
why
it makes you
even?
anxious
Yeah,
though.
I'm like, why
Yeah.
even say anything? Because the turbulence we flew through, it wasn't nothing. When he said that, the image I got in my head is when they had a video. and there was turbulence and people was hitting their head on the top of the airplane and luggage was falling down. That's when he said severe turbulence. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Doors flying off. You were thinking worst case.
Yeah,
Okay.
girl, we didn't even really have it. Didn't even, you know how sometimes the turbulence it'll drop and your stomach drops like
Yeah.
you're on the elevator.
Well, no, actually, no. This was the first time I really experienced
Okay,
turbulence
okay.
to that level. Was coming in and out of Denver. So,
See,
and that's also the
I've
first time
experienced that before.
I've had any kind of flight issues. I've
Okay.
never ever been a delayed or mishandled flight. You know, the
Oh,
traveling gods have been on my side
you never
before.
had to get off the plane, deplane because something's going on. Remember I told you a couple of years ago when I went down south and there was smoke coming up out the condensation, and then we were on the plane. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to deplane."
You know what, girl? When I hear that story, that makes me think to myself, thank you, Lord and Savior, because He already knows what I can and cannot handle. And He just said, nah, we're not going to mess with her like that. My heart doesn't need the excitement. So, no, that hasn't been my reality. But
Damn, what was
after
that?
getting the plane delayed 3 times because of wind and the airport being small, I just had to realize that my trip wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And still, my apologies to the people on the other end that might have been waiting, excited, anticipating. It was no fault of my own. I was trying to get out to the middle of nowhere. Really, I was. But I needed to obviously be here in Seattle to enjoy that beautiful
Right.
weather streak that we had, minus that pollen, because that pollen almost ruined a good, beautiful times for me, you know?
Yeah, but them 70 to 80 degree plus days, those were nice. They had me getting ready for my send off, and then I come back to this ish.
Wait. So what's your takeaway for the week then, or for the last couple of weeks? What's your takeaway?
No need to worry. Don't you worry
About a
a
thing.
thing.
Okay, that's all we can.
Everything's
Nope. So
that's my friends had to remind me, and my friends had to down
yeah.
south they had to remind me. So I was like, you right, you right, you right. They were like, you got down here right. You
Hey,
right, you right, you right.
girl, that's how it goes. Okay. And I said my takeaway is when God says sit yourself down, have a seat, because you're not gonna go around what He has planned. Do you understand how many
No,
times
he
I told
wanted
you
you
I
to
tried
go
to go?
lay down.
Yeah. Because, girl, I tried. Okay. Oh, my goodness. It was like a comedy of errors. Every time you try to check into your flight, you see the second part's canceled. You're like, wait. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Luggage lost. I said, well, I'm glad I remember my luggage. Who knows? It went on a
Yeah,
trip of its own.
I gotta get you some air tags.
I never go. I pack light, so I don't even
Mhm.
like to check things. So there were so many adventures going on in this particular scenario. But speaking of that, then, as we get into it, you know that this is going to be Memorial Day weekend, or this episode will be the one that people can listen to
Mhm.
for the holiday, which is coming up, and it's expected to be very, very busy. AAA has reported there's going to be possibly 44 million people on the road, or just
Y'all
traveling.
can have that. I'm gonna be at home chilling.
You gonna be indoors.
I'm be indoors. The only time I'm going outside is somebody invites me to go somewhere. Otherwise, I'm be at home. I got stuff to do.
Hmm. People, I love when Monika says wild things like that, because I always feel like she's testing the universe. She really wants to go out, and so I'm gonna just predict that she'll be booked and busy. So okay.
I don't want to
So,
drive nowhere, girl. Shoot.
well, I mean, we're just moving right along, as we like to say. Just based though off of your recent, oh my gosh, and we down for each other, because once again, we're going to talk about friendship. Now, I know Mo has come to the airport for me and for several people. I mean, she comes to the airport for her loved ones like it's her duty, like it's in the friend and the daughter and the significant other contract. But it's not. But she still be doing it for people. But last night, I got a chance to be a good airport transportation person.
Shuttle.
Yes, thank you. Because her phone, of course, had zero like talk time. So we were sending like quick text trying to get all the information. Oh, SeaTac, all these airports are under
Mhm.
construction. So that's our first tip.
All of the airports. It
The
don't matter
international
where.
major ones in the United States, they're under construction
Yep.
this summer. So
Houston.
be prepared. Be prepared. There could be delays. There could be, traffic jams. But just know that you might be spending some time in traffic depending on what time of day or night. Now Mo came in real late, so Monica came in late, so I wasn't
That's
expecting.
because the pilots, they was late from getting from they had just came, they flew in from Mexico, and they was, I don't know why they were late getting to our plane. And we actually had, we everyone was on the plane. We had to wait for them.
So okay, so it's crazy. So what we want to first, our first tip for holiday
I don't know.
travel:
They might have had
be
one or too
patient.
many. Yeah, they might have had one too many tequilas. I was just like, I hope y'all ain't
One margarita, okay, okay.
coming from Mexico.
Two margarita, but no, okay. But they got you there safe. So hallelujah on that.
Well, they got us there. They was already running late. You could tell when the when they bump up the speed in the plane. I was like, oh, they're clowning, because it's a big plane too. Because I was like, it's going pretty fast for us to be. I think yeah, we left like 15 minutes later, but they got us there 15 minutes less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I kept checking when if you're how much of your delay
Yeah,
was,
it was a.
and it went from like 15 minutes to 7 minutes.
That's why I said they was clowning.
But that was nothing for that traffic, okay? And
That
with
was
these airlines,
ridiculous.
don't I mean with these airports. So when everybody gets off and you think you're gonna go to arrivals, and then the airport goes, oh, arrivals congested. Everyone go to departure. How do you think people are contacting with their loved ones at that point?
But hold up. So was nobody in the car waiting parking lot though?
You saw what
I
I
know, but I'm
pointed
just
out to
wondering,
you.
was nobody in that parking, the cell phone parking lot?
Honey, it didn't matter. Everybody was trying to get their person, get their person. Do you see how many people were waiting on the curb when I swooped in and got you? We swooped out.
That's a Monday though.
Travel on a
I
Monday,
don't
and
usually come
also
back on Mondays.
people, if you know you're picking up someone late, and they have particular diets or things that they eat or
Hmm.
don't eat, just text them because that's why I say, hey, what you want to eat? Because I know you
Yeah,
getting
because
in and you're not gonna eat no fast food.
these
So
planes are clowning. They don't.
yes.
United. I'm sorry, United. Even though they said they sell meals and stuff online, they didn't even ask us if what we wanted for a meal. They just came back with them little half-ass snacks. And then, oh
You
my
didn't like
gosh,
that chocolate quinoa, Chris?
I had that, but so on the other plane we got like a full glass. This looked like a little shot glass, and then they gave you the something to drink.
Oh, that's not.
It was like this big,
Well,
not like a regular plastic cup. I was just like,
don't get me to complaining, girl, because I was like, I don't like that they use Seagram's ginger ale versus Canada Dry. So it's all about preferences, right? So
again, I
moving.
like Alaska and Delta. United was just this. That's all I could get at the time.
Well, I'm not going to talk mess about United. No, no. And around here in Auntie season, we can appreciate that things happen. And out of the two of us, Auntie Mila was definitely the one that was most inconvenienced. And I'm still going to say, after seeing that video that we watched today of the Frontier Airlines lady getting arrested
I don't fuck
and
Frontier.
detained,
Frontier don't
I,
know where we need to go
girl,
anyway.
United I love. Okay, because I'm going to say it could always be worse. It could always be worse. So moving right along, though, there are some tips that we did decide to just remind you. For one, we said be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. Um, you know, what were you saying, Monica? You mentioned something about clear and C spot.
So the Seattle Tacoma Airport, you can use See Spot Saver, so that way you basically set up an appointment, how many people in your party, how many pieces of luggage or carrying you have, and it's a line that can get you past security faster. But a lot of people are catching up to it. So you can't do it the night before expecting you don't get an appointment. You better do it like weeks out late
Mm-hmm.
now. Because I've done it. I think when they first started a couple years ago, I'd done it, and I would actually be standing there and make an appointment and then go.
Yeah, but now it's
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So and then TSA and
Pre-check.
clear, but I couldn't do
Mm-hmm.
TSA because they done messed up my number or something. So I gotta call them fools, and already know how long that's gonna take
Okay, we already
because
warned
it's the
people about
government.
construction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you said, well, honey, we're not gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the government, but we're not gonna talk about the government like that. Okay.
I ain't
Uh
gonna talk about the government like that.
so we also mentioned apps. We recognize that even if you go through a third party website to buy
To
your
book your trip.
ticket. Yeah. Still download the app for the actual airline you're flying with. There'll be some other perks that'll be in there.
Oh yeah.
Don't be afraid to join.
Other perks, yeah. Go ahead and join on and start collecting all your miles, because it will benefit you in the long run, for real. Yeah, they have perks for like, oh, for example, United, they were like the flight's full, but you can go ahead and put your carry-on and check luggage, and we won't charge you. I was gonna get charged for it anyways, but I was like, that's fine, because I really didn't need to be chugging along that in the Houston airport, because y'all know how big that Houston airport is.
Under construction.
Under construction. You already know when you gotta go from one side to the other side, because you gotta take that satellite, and then you gotta walk another mile.
And Monika is the auntie that likes to work out like that.
But not in a rush though. Like, oh, make sure you when you book your trip that you have ample time to switch planes.
Yeah, I mean, be nice to yourself. Also, once you get on the plane, maybe you're walking through the airport and you're not thinking about it, but the cooties are still out here. Now, Auntie Milah, I don't be that plain germaphobe. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Pull. As soon as you get about to board onto the plane, put that mask on. Protect yourself. People are out here getting other people sick. Sidebar, but real story. So I was talking to Dr. Bonnie B, and she said, you know what? I don't even feel good, so I'm not even put on my mask because someone didn't give a damn when they were out here walking around contaminating me. I said, oh Lord, if that's how all the people feel out here, we all should be frightened. So that is just to tell you, please wear a mask when you travel. If you don't want to, or
that's coming from a doctor.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. It's the coldest. I said, isn't there a Hippocratic oath or whatever? But nonetheless,
she said, outside of my practice.
So you're gonna get it. I mean, now we know she's a germaphobe in there, honey. Everybody got their N95s and then.
Well, I guess when I boarded the plane, that's why the flight stewardess, and that's the first time I've actually noticed that she was handing out wipes. She was like, like she was trying to tell me something. You might want to go ahead and take this wipe.
Yes, and the wipe is a
and
good
I used
thing.
the wipe, and it was big enough, so I used it to wipe down the chair and the tray and everything.
And that's what I was gonna tell, and that is my second tip.
Like, you want to wipe?
Yep. She was gonna make sure you took that wipe. Right. Hey, sister, here.
But it was a clear person. Like,
yeah. No, I am for you. I don't even want to go. Monika, you're so crazy. But yes, no, my girlfriends that are flight attendants have all said don't touch nothing on the plane. They said if you want to come back without being sick, everything is dirty. Because they said the cleaning crew in between doesn't have time to wipe down every seat.
No, they don't have any time.
They have like less than like 10 minutes. They barely can vacuum, the crumbs.
After people after people are getting off the plane, as the people are getting off the plane, they're already in the empty seats cleaning. I saw them last night. They were coming in quick.
Yeah, because they don't have the time.
They were coming in hot, and I was like, whoa, hold on, we still ain't even off the plane yet.
So make sure you clean up everything.
Just, like you said, they're not wiping down. They're just picking up trash.
Yes, and then also bring snacks. Pack light, but bring snacks.
Yeah, bring your own snacks because you don't want to pay $15 for some sandwich in the airport.
And hunger and desperation and being famished. And sometimes I think people forget what it can take out of you sometimes when you're traveling. I mean, and if you know that you have specific things that you want or don't want, or you have particular kind of allergies, bring some things in there, because expect the unexpected when you're traveling this summer, so you can be chill. You don't want to have to be one of those aggressive people like the other lady I watched on the Frontier plane, where she told a woman, remember they carried her out of there, and she said, I'm from Philly. It's on principle or something crazy. And yes, they got that sister.
But ma'am, you're on a plane and it's called federal, okay?
They quickly got her off the plane.
She must have forgot about that.
The way they carried her off the plane, they carried her. They did. The first lady I mentioned that was on Frontier, they handcuffed her, and and she was like, I got to pick up my grandkid. They were like, ma'am, if you say that you're in the emergency aisle or row, and they ask you that question by law, if you are dumb, don't play with them. If they say, can you handle the responsibilities of sitting here? Will you help people? If you say no or you're uncertain, they have to move you.
Yeah, they're not going to take it as a joke.
No, they have to move you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll be over by the bathroom in the back, but you won't be in the emergency exit. So just know that. So that was just kind of another sidebar. But my
Yeah, cause
last tip.
that's what I'm saying. That's the last place you want to get buck at is on the airplane because it's federal, and they gonna put you on that do not fly list,
Oof, and that's the
and then you
worst.
really gonna be asked out.
That's what you call terrible, Monika.
Right.
So my last tip though is just once again reiterating: prepare for the unexpected. Have your book list, like your audibles. Have your playlist for any movies or songs you want to listen. Have that already downloaded because heaven forbid the Wi-Fi is off. One time I was on a flight and their entertainment system was down, so it was like if you didn't have what you needed, you weren't getting, you weren't having a good trip. So,
Well, that's United when they flying from the regional airports. They ain't got no Wi-Fi on them little planes. Okay. Well, United don't. They was like, I don't know what to tell you. We ain't got no Wi-Fi on this flight.
they just say cross your fingers and cross your toes and say your prayers. We just trying to get there. Okay. Well, now, that's enough of that travel news, girl. And this is the part that I have been waiting for. I mean, I'm glad it's cold and you have some tea somewhere because, whew, I don't even know where to start because everything has been popping. Politics has been politicking at another level. It gets me excited, and typically we don't talk too much about politics around here because we like to have a good time. But the politics got me feeling good. We don't like to trigger ourselves, but this weekend, starting on Friday when CNN released what it released, it's trying to trigger everybody the whole weekend. And then we got all kinds of other like crazy things. Like just when you think the United States is not the best, then you find out that other places are infecting people with poison blood and covering it up. So
I mean, Cat Williams said everything was coming out in 2024, so.
it is okay. So, girl, that we got so excited about the politics. So I kind of want to start there. But is there any place that you're interested in going? Because, girl, there was so many things happening this week, really.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so unless you've been living underneath a rock and you're in the United States. And if you're not in the United States, finally we're talking about something that you can say, wow, I heard over in America, this is what's going on in their House of Representatives, or in their Congress. So Jasmine Crockett and the Marjorie Taylor Greene debacle, is that what you would call it inside of Congress? I mean, what I know is that someone tried a sister
Don't
and
play in my face.
and they learned a lesson, right?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know, I'm going to make sure, because there's this trend on TikTok called the black wife magic effect or whatever. And no, but I'm just saying this point to clearly say, Monika, I see your face, that sisters been had the juice. Everyone knows if you want something done, if you want something done right, if you want someone told, if you want, just call up a sister, ring, ring. If you don't know a sister, that's why you're listening to the podcast, because you know two sisters by default. Okay, so everyone might not know, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, kind of been a bully. She is definitely aggressive in her politics. She normally shuts people down and bullies them. So I guess she thought that she was going to talk about just real, side of her neck, real slick. Say something about Jasmine Crockett from
It's
Texas.
elementary school stuff.
And you know what? That's amen. In true elementary, I have to still give AOC. Oh girl, please, Alexandria or Tez Card, whatever. From New York. Everyone knows her.
I was gonna say something that was wrong.
But we know her by AOC, but that is not the sister's real name. But I do like how she girlfriend tagged it in, right? She jumped in. As like, okay, I see you, sis.
Strike it from the record.
Yeah, strike it from the record. That's unacceptable. And then the sister said, all I needed was to be seen. Thank you, sister, for you tag me and I can handle my own business. And she proceeded to get the lady right. So
let's go ahead and play it.
Okay, so in case you hadn't heard it, we do have the audio, and this is from, of course, United States Congress. So,
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here. I don't want you to know what you're here for. Well, you the one talking about. I think your fake eyelashes are messing up. No, ain't nothing. Hold on.
Order, Mr. Chairman, the now the chair recognizes Miss Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
It's me.
Miss Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built bush body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
You heard him. Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
part
I'm
of the.
trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike those words. What you just said.
We're not.
oh my goodness! But wait, Monica, who was the senator? I was the representative. I'm sorry, this is not Senate. This is Congress. But who was the representative? You said kept making the best faces, and you said where's
Mr. Rankin.
oh my goodness! You said
He was he was over there smirking. He wanted to laugh so hard. And there was another one sitting in the crowd. He was it was.
they were rolling because they got it. I mean,
I know later on when they went to their little cigar bar, they was clowning.
they said, I mean, because after that, it did descend into hell for a little bit. I mean, there was cussing. They were acting a little bit of a fool. But you know what? I said, about damn time, America. I mean, you know who has some of the best? It's like watching international politics. And oh my, go to Africa, watch African parliaments. I mean, sometimes they have a whole tribal, like I seen them throw chairs.
Shoot, they be doing that stuff in Moscow and
Girl, I mean, Italy,
else.
England, I've never been wrong.
China.
Honey, so finally America is showing like we're not so young anymore. We got a little skin in the game.
Yeah, or we're not so what do you want to say? I can't even think of the word.
Well, and so because of that, I'm gonna let you think of the word because
they got some youthful energy in there and they keep
forgetting. Yeah, that it's not yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
That they might want it to go back to 1950 or 1830s like Taylor Swift. But this was your favorite remix, though, right?
Yeah.
By DJ BH Logic.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then
everyone remixed this.
Beach blonde, bad built bush body. Beach blonde, bad built bush body. That beach blonde, bad built bush body. That would beach blonde, bad built bush body. That would beach blonde, bad built bush body. That would beach blonde, bad built bush body. Beach blonde, bad built bush body. Bush body, bush body.
And so we love that. That was one of our favorite remixes because, you know, in case you were under a rock, you know, there was a feud like less than 2 weeks ago in hip hop between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And clearly Kendrick Lamar was the winner. And this was
the West Coast summer anthem.
And so that was the beat that was used with that remix that we were just listening to. They Not Like Us.
I mean,
not like us.
It makes sense. They Not Like Us.
Man, that song, Kendrick knew how to, you know what? That's what everybody's mama teaches them, though, I guess, you know, is don't start nothing, but be able to finish it.
Well, I guess you wanted to say don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
Yeah, but, you know, hey, Drake thought he wanted it because it's cute to think you want to have beef with everybody until someone knows how to, till a Pulitzer Prize winner knows how to verbally assault you.
Sometimes you gotta leave them quiet people alone.
Wait, say that again. That's a word, Mom.
Sometimes you gotta leave them quiet people alone.
Okay. We teaching. We're giving out Auntie gems this episode. Oh yes. So I mean, the politics. Oh, it was getting rowdy. So I had to say that. But just when you want to talk about decorum and that America ain't this and America ain't that, then you hear about the United Kingdom and their contaminated blood scandal that they gave over 30,000 people hepatitis and HIV. That over 3,000 have died from like the 70s through the 90s. That they tried to cover it up, destroyed evidence, did all these things so that the people would not know that they giving contaminated blood. And I go, well, I guess America ain't that bad. Anybody that got a problem, I say, hey, ain't no place perfect. Even the UK is doing things that are that make you go, ugh. You know, how do you go home and tell your partner, I got this. I wasn't cheating. I didn't do anything. And they're saying that it couldn't be the blood. So I don't know how I miraculously came up with
I
HPV
mean,
or
like the
hepatitis. I'm sorry.
the
Yeah.
mix
or HIV.
those syphilis experiments they were doing down south.
Well, they didn't try to cover that up. If people knew, except the participants, what was
Yeah,
going on. That was
but
that was
so
racial medical experimentation.
that
They
was
weren't experimenting. I think the blood was just
that was
contaminated.
yeah, that was just more egregious. I mean,
And at some point, they had to know because in the 80s, Arthur Ashe, one of our tennis heroes and black legends,
hmm
contracted HIV through blood given for a surgery, right? So they knew that there was a because then all of a sudden they got all weird and they had all these rules about who could donate blood, who can
right.
get blood. So the information was out there. I don't know what the hell was happening in the UK. This is definitely a developing story. I mean, I don't know. That one is heartbreaking. That one is. I mean, because people put a lot of faith in government medical
How
entities
did
and
the story
oversight.
unravel? Because sometimes if if there's not a quantitative number of people that pass away, they're not even going to disclose the information. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, but it took a lot for the story to break, and the victims will be compensated. But initially, that was one of the reasons why they were trying to cover it up. So they wanted to have to be paying people. So anyway, this is one of those stories that, as Auntie Monika loves to tell you, Google it
hmm
or go to bbc.com where we got a lot of our just snippets that we told you about. Hey, you can find out more about this because this is not necessarily a new story, obviously, because it's been happening for so many years, but it is one that people
I
are talking
mean,
about
hold
again.
up. I heard about something. This happened in the U.S. not too long ago either. It was one of these. I don't know if it was hospital up here, but I heard something the hospitals had. Um.
See, that's a hospital.
mhm.
The reason why this scandal I think hits differently is because it was like the department. It was like if you found out that the American Medical Association recognized, well, no, because the American Medical Association isn't even government run. So I guess I would say maybe like the department, DSHS, right?
Mhm.
Health and Family Services knew that they had messed up and got 30,000 people sick, and then didn't want anyone to know about the scandal. So they covered it up.
Or the
They tried to
VA.
squash it. Well, yeah, I guess the VA would be the better.
It's happened.
Yeah, well, it's happening everywhere. So that's why I said before we all buy our tickets to Mars and to Venus, we can do more on planet Earth, and no country is better than the next at times.
No, I
We're all
mean the president
scandalous.
could do more for the U.S. and stop sending money overseas.
So we don't even get political, so we will move right along because we know that there is even more going on in the world of politics. Like Monica alluded to, there's wars. The president of Iran, died in a mysterious helicopter crash or whatever.
He was
We have,
assassinated.
there is still a couple of wars that are being fought all over the globe, not just in parts of
He,
Europe.
yeah.
So there,
I saw that ticker come across the news. I saw that. I was like, oh, so someone assassinated him. He just mysteriously died in a helicopter. I'm just gonna tell it like it is.
and former President
Because how
Trump
they know all
is
the people
still
were on
on
there?
trial. Yes. Monica, there's so much going on. And kind of in that same vein, with a lot going on and a lot of change. Now, before we get into, I guess, the topic that has been all over the place, I do just want to add that that we knew that May was Latino Book Month. And I remember on the last episode mentioning that there was a new movie that Netflix was going to be releasing sometime this year based off of a very popular book. It's going to be 16 episodes. And the name of it is called 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So I just, I just had to get that out of the way. I hated that I didn't know when we had an episode. So that is the update. Now on to church, community, business. We talking about brother love, honey. We talking about your boy Diddy
Hey, my boy.
Are we
I
talking
already
about?
had this conversation with someone. I was like, we have to agree to disagree because just because he has the same uh, same foundational hue does not mean that we got to come together and make sure he okay. He brought this shit onto himself. I'm sorry. It's called karma, baby. What's done in the dark comes to light.
Ooh, I love that
And for him to,
foundational hue. Is that what you're calling
yeah.
someone that's a skin folk,
Mhm.
not a kin folk?
Mhm.
Foundational hue. See, Monika, you and your saying that demon DNA last week. And foundational hue. Okay. So he brought this on himself. In case you do not know, this weekend, Friday afternoon, morningish on the West Coast, CNN dropped just a confirmation dime. And by that I mean they released the video unedited. Okay, they did give you a trigger warning of assault that took place in 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles with between Cassandra Ventura, known as Cassie, and Sean P. Diddy Combs. So in the video, Diddy is, well, girl, the comments, honey, the comments. I remember this one because that is the truth. The first time you watch it, he said, watching Cassie at that elevator put on her shoes when you know that the like boogeyman or the killer is coming for her. They said it's like suspenseful. They were like, you're holding your breath and clutching, and you're like, oh my gosh, girl, if you don't get out of here, the demon's gonna get you. And of course, he catches up to her and
Mhm.
throws her to the ground and kicks her. I
Girl,
will note that he had socks on his feet, not shoes. I mean, people want to.
I would have took the stairs. His ass would have fell down them stairs in them flip flops.
He didn't remember he only had socks. He didn't have flip
Oh,
flops.
so he wouldn't have had no traction.
Yeah, he was socks.
So here is a note. Make sure that whatever hotel you stay at, you know how to get to the stairs, not just the elevator.
Yeah, yeah. Because she was waiting out there, but I don't think she thought it was going to take 52 minutes. And remember, she tried to sneak out. That's why she didn't have her shoes on while he was sleeping after he had already punched her in her face, gave her the black eye, and
But he wasn't
yeah.
sleeping. He was just resting. For him to wake up that quick,
And to chase her down, well,
yeah.
someone said he was because he put on a towel.
Mhm.
So Linnell, we watched Linnell make comments about this. The Lunell, the comedian, and she said he remembered to put a towel to cover up his naked ass.
Yeah.
So he
So
knew.
that's why I said he wasn't sleeping.
Yeah, no,
He was resting, but he wasn't asleep.
no, it was very
Because if you
triggering.
if you are knocked out like that, unless you're real sensitive, you're not gonna hear the person. Like if you're
Yeah,
not, your mind is somewhere else.
and she was escaping like a victim. Like this
Like
wasn't
a
her first
Lifetime
rodeo.
movie.
Exactly. I mean, because when you do it without shoes, that means you're trying not to make any sounds. You're trying to
Exactly.
make yourself basically float over that ground so that you can get the hell out of there.
Exactly.
And the way that she even once he threw her to the ground, the defensive poses that she had to like protect her organs, her head, things like. To me, that was like, oh my gosh, that's every trauma. That's every trauma, and then you hear women and everyone starts talking about it, and we realize a lot of us have been snatched up, grabbed up, you know,
It's sad but true.
yeah, and it's very unfortunate. It could be the most educated, it could be the strongest of the, you don't know why someone let someone else do that to them. For her, I can see that she was young and there's a lot of grooming. It was a whole thing, but
But you don't even have to be young. It's just it's a grooming. It's a you know you're in a low point and they catch you in a low point and then it's just
for her, it was
yeah
definitely, I know, you're right,
yeah
it doesn't have to be, but we remember we've talked about domestic violence on the podcast before. We, talked about how the biggest age group where this actually happens
mhm
is that teenage, that bittersweet teenage years, like the 17, 18
mhm
through about 25. That's, if they get you during that age, they pretty much got you on this roller coaster because you're not off. It takes a while to get off of it. For her, it took her over a decade, and a lot of people are still unclear on how she got away. I don't know if he was maybe bored or what happened, if her prayers finally got answered,
mhm
if that trainer that she met really gave her the confidence because he was willing to stand by her side,
right
and not even in a romantic way. Sometimes it's just having someone believe you because a
exactly
lot of times she had to be in places where people saw her get beat up and then act like nothing happened to her. So to me, that's the disrespect. You know, it's like, wait, so everything that Cassie said was true. That means like when she went into the Babylon conference room and they were discussing business and there were men and women in there and he beat her up in front of men and women and no one tried to help her.
Because those people were afraid it was going to mess up their money.
And I said,
That's all
wow.
it comes down to.
Yeah. I said, that's some cold. That's some cold. Or even like that iconic picture of like Beyonce and Kim and Jay-Z and Kanye and Diddy and Cassie. You have to wonder what they witnessed. Did they see anything? Did Kim or Beyonce like try to slip her a piece of paper like, do we need to come and swoop you tonight? By the like, I don't know. Like, would, because see, I can ask this question, and then this is a sidebar, and this is something we didn't even discuss before, but it just came to me now. You and I, and maybe that's the Tacoma in you, and I definitely know that it's the God in you too, and it's the God in me, and maybe because we've also been there in these kind of uh, trifling situations at times at some point in our lives, but it is within that age range. We were under 21 or right at that 21 to 22, you know, like
For that incident.
so just say it like that. And you know, when I think about it, I go, wow, that's really scandalous how it all transpired. But we've never left anyone. We don't like to see women get hurt in front of us because it reminds me when we were in DC at the you know, and we saw the woman get roofied and blatantly her girlfriends who we were somewhat affiliated with left her, and they knew she was a mom with 4 or 5 kids, and they left her in this position to be raped, attacked, kidnapped, or whatever. And we saw her. It changed our night, but we had to make sure that sister was okay. You know, like we couldn't leave that lady like that. So I guess for me, when I see people getting beat up and hurt, I understand that it's perilous, that it's risky because you don't know the partner. But I guess maybe because I was raised with a mama who said have a get out of hell plan, and you know what? If someone needs some help getting out of that, you know, help them. Even though I know it's risky because people go back often to their abusers, and then you're caught out there.
Right.
But if you don't at least try to assist, something happens to that person. How do you sleep at night?
I mean, you could at least, like you said, at least or try once, but you already know there's a process. And what what did Daria say? How did she say? Mind your
Your business, honey. Minding your business is a full-time job, and we all need to work at staying employed. Okay.
Not saying when it comes to this, like if it's a life or death situation, that's different.
Right.
But like other things, yeah, especially you ain't paying nobody.
Here, I mean, you don't know the situation, but but if you see someone get socked down in front of you, are you not gonna at least try to go get the towel to maybe help clean up their mouth or help them up off the ground?
Security, yeah. But like you said, that's a tricky situation because what if that person's still like you gonna stand in the middle and then get hit too?
That's dicey, sis. Oh, we talking about real now. Oh, that's dicey as a mother. I don't know. I guess it depends on how tight you are with the person. Like if it's your sis, I guess you roll, you do it. If it's your associate, maybe you say a prayer and go, that's unfortunate. But if your sis, you gotta do a Solange. You gotta be jumping on them when it's on camera and you can get away with that beatdown.
Well, hopefully I've progressed enough where
Oh,
I
girl,
won't be in
amen.
any type of those situations.
I don't know those kind of ladies
Or
anymore.
yes,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. We know businesswomen and professors and professionals, doctors and commissioners and things of that nature. But, just saying, if you were in that situation, if you see something, say something.
Yeah, I'd say something. I'd call or send a text or
Yeah,
but
you check on her later at least.
depends if do I know this person? Are we talking a hypothetical? Like do I like
obviously
yeah?
hypothetical, yes, girl. So obviously hypothetical.
Because the way the world is now, like you could actually try to like help and people be like, get out my face. So you know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh, man. Oh, that's why I said this is a crazy situation because people have gotten upset that no one defended or protected or said anything about Cassie, but now we're talking, and it's at the not dilemma. It's like, okay, well, what is appropriate help? What's
Because,
appropriate help?
well, see, they weren't on the street because
And
the hypothetical situation, like, it's outside, but these people knew her. I won't say knew her like in a
yeah,
friendship, but business way. Like, they were acquainted with her, so it's different. So, but whatever
mm,
whatever he was spitting out had them people panties in a bunch, and they was like, I don't want no parts of it.
she's staying, right? So a lot of people, oof, yeah, girl, man.
But somebody could have made an anonymous call or tip
Te-
to the
oh,
authorities,
yeah, that's true. There's always some way to help someone,
right?
even if you're not sure. So now that we discussed the
Or to
problem,
for like some type of domestic violence,
hmm,
organization to they could have made a tip, and they could have,
yeah,
so many different things. And I know people like sitting back who were involved are like, yeah, I could have did better.
well, after the fact. So now what do you think about his apology? I mean, now we understand legally that he can't say her name and she cannot say his. So a lot of people are saying, well, he didn't personally say
Yeah,
Cassie, but he could have
that's what
said,
Lil Nell said.
yeah,
Yeah,
but he could say, to my victim, to the person that I actually assaulted.
a day late and a dollar short. He's a narcissist. That's a true narcissist. He's Yeah, he has issues. I
Hmm.
don't. You're in there. First of all, where's his PR? Like, you don't need to be getting out on social media saying not a thing.
PR is just like an attorney. I can give you sound advice. I cannot make you follow it. I mean, ultimately, if you want to go around our crisis plan for you and you want to release videos where you're looking down and looking off like a guilty liar, where you think that you're acting, but I want to say, sir, you acted at Monsters Ball and you were a prisoner that was uh, going to get killed or going to die. I don't know if it was the electric chair or a lethal injection because I haven't seen Monsters Ball in so long. Diddy was in there. He played Halle Berry's husband. And
Oh, so
honey,
you got to
that
be careful what type of
roles you take on.
roles you're playing, because that stuff will that stuff will manifest.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: he did a not great job at the role, and he did a not great job to me at the apology. It didn't feel authentic. It
No,
didn't.
because if you are if you analyze
Body and
his body
yes,
and the way
yes, language
his
and
language, when he says something and his eyes went to the left, that's an indication you're lying.
and I know will know that. The detective between the two. Yeah, no, it felt disingenuous. It felt scary. It felt scary because I said, "What is the point? You're trying to
But like you
beat the
said, oh,
news,
but like, yeah, you said he's trying to beat the
beat the
news
news
cycle and
cycle,
then turn
yeah,
it into where he's the victim and he's dealing with his mental
to
health
hell."
issues.
And he's already apologized. So
Right.
now, before, if he had waited until Monday to release that, all of Monday morning, the story would have been seeing, video release of Diddy assaulting Cassie. Da 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 da. What do you think? You would have had to have everybody denouncing him. It would have been a big thing. But then now, when they talk about the story, it's seeing, Diddy assaulted Cassie, but Diddy has apologized. He said he wasn't at his best self. He says he's in therapy. He's a changed man. But then people started remembering all the things that he was allegedly doing after the 2016 incident, and they said, "Are you a changed man?" And now I think rumors are swirling. You were always one of those people who were conspiracy theorists. That's what they call them about Kim. But now people are almost asking, "Please look into the death of Kim." It was really mysterious, you know.
Mhm.
It was like one minute she's here, the next minute she's not, and that almost happened to Albie Shore, her son's father as well. And it's just a lot, and it's sad because Diddy does have children. And Lisa reminded us, this morning on her Instagram story, like that she was triggered, that she had been through some things too. But she probably had more of an incentive to be quiet because she had his firstborn son, You can't change how a son sometimes looks at their dad, even if they know that you might have got snatched up, socked up, put in uncomfortable situations. So I think Misa might have been more stoic, and she didn't really have an incentive to come out with that story because she had a child by this man. But seeing the twins, That's what made me sad. It was their prom, and that's their only guardian because their mother is no longer in the land of the living. So that part was a little sad. That has nothing to do with Diddy. Heart doesn't go out to him at all. I say Cassie. Cassie deserves to have Times Woman of the Year. I know last year it was Taylor Swift, but it definitely probably should have been Cassie Ventura because she gave people voice that didn't have voice, and even in other situations, because now DJ Academics, someone has come out now and accused him of rape, and people are starting to say, hey, these celebrities got away with a lot. They treated me in a way that I didn't really want to accept at that time, but I didn't think I had any other options. So my vote for Woman of the Year is definitely Cassie Ventura. She stood on principle, and I don't know what the settlement was, but I guess she didn't get enough. Because at the time when she went after him, he was worth almost $1 billion, and she did even get a tenth. So she could have asked for a lot more. If I knew that there was video of someone beat me down like that, and I was suing them, I'm gonna ask if they have 100 million. I'm asking for 50.
No, she even released some video to the investigating stuff, so she had video.
Yeah, Diddy's lucky that she's not actually a hateful person. I think she probably wanted enough to probably be comfortable because I don't know what kind of career she's going to really actually have after all of this is said and done. And she needed rehab, and she does have daughters and her own family, and her husband, they have some kind of like meal delivery, or like they're into the health and fitness space, so good kudos to her though. So, that's our take on.
Okay, so Monika, this has been a really lively episode. I mean, we've delved into some topics that we normally discuss between ourselves, but we don't always put it out there like that on the podcast. So really fun. We hope you all enjoyed it. Monika, where can they find us at again?
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartMedia, Amazon, and Google Play. And our social media platforms are Instagram, Twitter, which is known as X, and also TikTok.
All right. Remember to call your aunties and your girlfriends and say hi. Hey. Bye.